Anyway, let's watch Scott Jennings dismantle another panel of liberal dopes. Let's go.
And look, the truth is, I'm kind of where Anna is on this. I don't know that we know anything about Trump's involvement or lack thereof. But I do know that he is named in these documents. I do know that he is named in a way that raises questions. And that is something that is real. Does it mean that he actually did something wrong? That we don't know. But if Trump has nothing to hide, and he's totally entitled to say that, to believe that, he should be clamoring for these documents, for the full context to be released, but he's not doing that.
So you believe after 10 years of this, of him being on the public stage, that if there was something to know, we wouldn't know it by now? Look, the issue is...
I mean, you could make that argument about every single person who's implicated in these documents.
Okay.
That is not a legitimate argument.
And you just raised the key issue.
Every single person who may or may not be implicated, the argument is, if there was something to know, we would have known it. If there was something to know... Yeah, I mean, it's in the documents, and we don't know it about not just Trump, anybody.
So you just raised the key issue. You use the word implicated. If someone's name appears in these documents, it doesn't necessarily mean they did anything wrong, but I'm sure that is going to lead people to say, oh, they've been implicated, and so we'll see what comes out. I have no expectations that the
Scott,
president's
can I tell you,
done
they may
anything
not
wrong.
have done something criminal. Just the fact that they are having email exchanges does not mean that they did something
like
criminal.
Larry Summers,
okay, but I do.
Or Stacey Plaskett.
Yes,
the fact that they're having exchanges
exactly.
with Epstein
that may not
could
be criminal. I do think it is wrong. And the reason I think it's wrong is because by the time that the emails that we are seeing in this trove that was released are from 2019 and 2018 and 2016. That is way after Epstein had served 13 months in that sweetheart deal in Florida, after he had served 1 year under house arrest, after he had registered as a sex offender. And so these people, a lot of them who are folks that are admired by our society, famous, rich, powerful, in very elite circles in Palm Beach and in New York, were conversing with him and communicating with him and treating him. I mean, people like Deepak Chopra.
I agree. Does your concern apply to Stacey Plaskett, member of Congress?
It applies. Did you just hear me?
Across the board.
Did you just hear me say?
You think she should resign? Should she resign?
There you go again, trying to make this into a Democrat.
I think it's very.
She was being programmed by him after the moment you said we all knew.
It's very hypocritical for you to call out the names of only the Democrats, but not apply the very same logic to everyone.
What Republican was he programming?
Listen, hold on. You're basically saying if you're named in these documents, I guess you're saying that they should be condemned. Anna is basically saying, let it all out. But you're the only one who's making a carve out for one person, and that's Donald Trump.
There's no evidence that he had any contact with Epstein after he excommunicated him, but we do have evidence that he was programming Democrat members of Congress. Why isn't that a big deal to you guys?
I guess the point is we just don't know.
We do know that. We absolutely know he was programming Plaskett.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what we don't know about the Trump bit of it. That's all I'm saying.
So in that last clip, Abby said something we all already know. We don't know whether Trump was involved or not. Great. Finally, something we agree on. So why bring his name up every 5 seconds? The panel's message there towards the end was, don't single anyone out. We don't know anything yet. And then, even by their own admission, they have zero evidence Trump was involved. In fact, the evidence points in the opposite direction. Not to mention, he's the one who called for the Epstein files to be released. Yet they keep framing this story like he's hiding something. And you saw how defensive they got when Scott dared to bring up Stacey Plaskett, someone there's actual evidence about. Suddenly they panic. Why are you calling her out? Why carve out Trump? Carve out Trump? He's the only person you're talking about. And we're talking about two very different cases. Trump has accusations based on nothing. Plaskett? Epstein donated to her. She sought his support. And he was freaking texting her in real time, literally coaching her questions during the Michael Cohen hearing. That's a documented fact. But here's the bigger point. Conservatives have been demanding Epstein transparency for years. Democrats and CNN did not care about this case until they found a political angle. And now they're pretending Trump is the one blocking justice with zero evidence.